Anyway, yeah, good times. Good times with the kids. It's just in summertime, they can't play in the backyard for very long without getting cold and wet, and they want to come inside, right?
Right.
Yeah, there is a lot of snow on the ground.
Fair enough. There is not a lot of snow on the ground here.
No, don't imagine so, strangely enough, for some weird reason.
I could go and buy like a bag of ice and tip it out. Just be like,
Yeah.
it snowed in cube form.
Just dump it in the backyard. No big deal.
Yeah. I'm sure the cats will love it.
Yeah. Would they? Do your cats like ice?
No.
Ice cream and stuff?
I mean, they'd probably like walk up to it and like lick it to keep themselves cool. But they wouldn't be like playing in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not like it's a toy or anything.
No. Not that they play with toys.
Do your cats not play with toys?
No, they're strays. They don't trust anything a human hands them.
Holy smokes. Not even like after a while they don't build trust?
No.
Are you doing a bad job developing trust with your cats?
I mean, I tried to feed them ham the other day. They weren't like not interested.
Are you serious? They don't like ham?
I mean, to be fair, it was like pre-shaven circular slices of ham, right? Well, that's like double smokes. It could have been like the glazing that they didn't like.
What? That sounds real picky, man.
I mean,
It's ham. I don't like the glazing upon this pig flesh.
maybe they're snooty. I don't know.
They're strays. What the heck strays are snooty about? Where they get meat from? Are they also not like tuna fish?
I haven't tried to feed them tuna because I like my tuna too much. But okay. So these ham, pre-shaved, come in a packet. They're little discs, and I was like, well, the cats aren't interested, so I was like, I bet I could frisbee this. And sure enough, I got it to like the end of the backyard, and I went,
Holy smokes!
yeah, and I went back down there to get it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw it back, see if I can get it to land like near the cat's feet. I throw it, the wind picks it up and blows it over the fence.
Do your neighbors have any cats or dogs?
I think my neighbors are Muslims. I just threw ham in their backyard.
You committed a hate crime, Somicron. You better lay low for a while. You need to figure out how to blame this on your roommate, like right now.
This was like 2 weeks ago, and nothing's come of it. So.
Well, I don't know. There's no statute of limitations on hate crimes.
Is there not?
I don't know. I don't know what Australian law is.
Neither
Does
do I.
hate crime legislation exist?
You know, I don't know.
Hate crime legislation. Australia. Hate speech laws in Australia. Anti-Discrimination Act of 1998 prohibits any conduct which offends, humiliates, intimidates, insults, or ridicules another person on the basis of attributes including race, sexual orientation, religion, gender identity, and disability. I think that counts, dude. You offended them based on their religious beliefs, and they can come after you in a court of law.
I didn't offend anyone. The wind threw the ham.
It's a likely story, man. My neighbor was in the backyard, and a piece of ham came over the fence and landed in my yard. He says it was the ham, but come on. Are you seriously going to believe that, Judge? And the judge will be like, nope.
To be fair, they can't prove that it was me.
No, but it's okay. Here's the thing. Hate crime legislation is entirely dependent upon intent, which you can't prove unless you were like, I'm doing this in order to offend my Muslim neighbors out loud, and they had you on recording, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I don't think it matters. I think they're very used to punishing people on hate crime legislation based on what they've determined the intent is and how it happened, even if they can't prove anything.
Wow.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I mean, I guess it has been 2 weeks, which is probably the safe zone at this point.
Yeah. Maybe they have a very quiet dog or a not fussy cat that ate it. Or maybe the wind took it so well, it went straight over their fence as well to the other neighbor.
It very well could have. What a friendly wind that would be. It's like, dude, I got you on this. If I land here, you're in so much trouble. Hang on.
Or maybe they have a shed and it landed on the roof. I don't know.
You don't know if they have any animals? Really?
I don't talk to the neighbors, and I spend most of my time indoors.
That's fair. It is Australia. Outdoors is where all the poisonous animals are.
No. There are poisonous animals indoors. What are you on about?
Well, some indoors, but I feel like there are more of them out of doors. I could be wrong.
I mean, wrong? Australia is largely outdoors, so it's like comparing my house to the rest of the open space in the country, which is a bit unfair.
Well, yeah, but statistically, indoors versus out of doors, poisonous animal or insect attacks in Australia. What do you think the split is?
I think it's more likely to be outside, but you're much less likely to be on guard indoors, right?
That's a good point. You're not looking out for drop bears inside your bathroom.
Drop bears aren't poisonous, please. But
Oh, are they not?
no,
I thought they were.
No. Well, I
Penny
mean,
Arcade taught me wrong.
do you think chlamydia counts as poisonous? Because
Yes, absolutely. Sexually transmitted diseases are poison. Uh-huh.
okay, then drop bears are poisonous.
All right, good. Glad we got that figured out.
Yeah.
Stupid drop bears. So dumb.
Yeah.
One of my favorite copy pastas on Reddit is the one explaining how koalas are incredibly stupid.
Okay.
And then the other copy pasta is the one explaining how they're not. It's really great. I don't know who to believe at this point.
I think the not so smart one, because they sit around all day eating eucalyptus leaves, which have virtually no nutritional value, so they have to eat.
And that's the opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the opening argument for the koalas are dumb.
Okay. Yeah.
I probably have to find the one that counter argues that point because I don't remember many of the points that they made, but it was impressive enough that I was kind of like,
Well, maybe you could say that they're smart because they've found a way to eat something so non-nutritional and still make a diet out of it, right?
yeah,
Because
maybe.
and they're plentiful because everyone else, all the other animals know not to eat it, so there's plentiful of food.
That could have been one of the points they made. I specifically do not remember, but that's a good one. You could write a whole thing. You could do it. You have experience.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, the point is, yes, I think awareness plays into successful poisonous animal attacks. When you're outside, you're on constant alert and constant vigilance with your thwacking stick at all times to fend off poisonous animals.
Thwacking stick.
Whereas
It's called a
inside, you put your
shovel.
thwacking stick by the door. Wait, what? A shovel?
Yeah, you see a poisonous snake in the backyard, you just get a shovel and chop its head off.
Oh, sure, but I just mean if you're like wandering about in the bush, you don't bring a shovel with you. You bring a thwacking stick. Or maybe a knife.
I mean, it depends on how you got to the outback, right? If you woke up after a bender, you probably don't have any of those, right?
You don't wake up from a bender in the outback? That sounds real dangerous. Does that happen to you? Do you sometimes wake up in the middle of nowhere, Australia, being like, how did I get here, mate?
No, I don't. But I'm sure someone
Oh,
might.
good.
You can catch a train
What?
from the city and end up in the outback. We have good public transport here.
Are there stories where this happens? I need immediate proof of this. You make it sound like it happens every day. They're like, oh, there's John again. Woke up in the outback after a bender.
I mean, okay, so small town populations who already live in the outback,
That's helpful. Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, okay, all right.
So if they wake up and just live in the outback and they go on a bender in the outback, guess where they're waking up? I'll give you 3 guesses.
Well, there's no civilization at all they could wake up in? It's all outback?
I mean,
It's so nowheresville that like the very middle of town is considered outback?
yeah, if it's an outback town.
All right, fair enough. Like no traffic lights,
Oh,
tumbleweeds
no.
blowing through the center of town.
Town population 23, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the outback just keeps right on going through that town. It does not stop at any point.
No, it does not stop.
Okay. All right, I get that. Okay, but I'm not talking like you got super drunk and woke up on Main Street in population 23 town. I'm talking about you woke up and you don't know where you are. You literally can't see any human civilization at all, even if it's just like a hut.
Right.
Does that happen?
I mean, I can't speak for everyone because I've never done that. It's possible. It's possible that something like that has happened.
But it's not an everyday, every week occurrence.
How much do you think Australians drink?
A lot?
Everyday occurrence? No.
I mean,
we don't.
some people drink a lot every day.
Some people do.
They're called alcoholics.
Yes, but they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't wander, right? If they're getting drunk every day, they're probably not wandering drunks because where would they get their next drink? So they've learnt just to sit at home and drink, and then beat their children.
Right. Wow. That's sad. All right. Okay. So basically, what you're saying is it's not an every week thing you see in the newspaper or read online
No,
about.
I don't even think it would be a newsworthy event if someone woke up in the bush.
And had to like trek back without even their knife or their thwacking stick. I'd read about that.
I know you would. You're from Utah.
And then a drop bear dropped right out of the tree, and I had to fend it off with my bare hands.
Bare hands. I get it.
Ooh, accidental dad joke. I'm so embarrassed.
I was at a party the other night, and it's gonna sound like we were drinking a lot, but truthfully, none of us were. Like, we'd had a couple beers. One guy had maybe like 4. I had 1 the entire night because I needed to ride. I needed to be able to stay on the road. And there was a girl there. Let's call her Joey, right?
I need an explanation, and I'm worried about the explanation.
No. This has to do with drop bears because she mispronounced the word gerbil as gerbil, and then it's
One of my favorite things is people who just don't know the correct pronunciations of things and are so confident in mispronouncing it because they've never heard different. That's so good.
I don't know.
Gerbil, yes.
I don't know if it was strictly that kind of situation because she she struggled to find the right word because we were talking about gummy bears, right? And how if you soak them in bourbon, they just expand. And we were talking about how we're gonna get like one of the 1 pound gummy bears or whatever, right? Like the 5 pound gummy bears, the big ones.
I was like, 1 pound. That's the rookie league. The American get them in 10-pound bags.
Yeah, well, no, but this is just a 1 big one.
Yeah. Oh, a huge gummy bear. Oh, there was a Reddit. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, you can buy these, and we're gonna soak it in bourbon. And to get into the party, it's like a 2 bite minimum.
Okay.
Right, and so, she, like it sounds like we're drunk because I'm talking about like, well, if we get like melon ballers, we could just scoop out the eyes, and that'd be a fairly small one, and you know.
Oh my gosh, you scoop out the eyes on your gummy bear? Sadistic ideas you have there.
And then she called them like gerbil drop bears. You know, like I said, the flow of conversation makes us sound like we were drunk, but we weren't. That was
discussing getting drunk. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fine. I get that. Like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night.
That whole mispronouncing thing always reminds me of growing up. I never heard the word deafening pronounced. I only ever read it in books.
Oh my god. Really?
And
how did you say it?
Deafening. For years. For years and years and years and years and years. I 100% thought it was deafening.
That makes me so happy.
Because phonetically it makes sense. Deafening. Right? My brain never made the connection to deaf.
Right.
And the fact that it's really loud. I knew what it meant. I knew the context of the word, but I never made the connection that it's deaf as the first part of that word.
Yeah. That's great. I'm sure I have something like that, but you just don't know those things until they come up, right? Right.
Until one day we're in the middle of a pod and you pronounce something dumb.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even think of an example, but it would be hilarious. Trust me.
Oh, there's one in How I Met Your Mother. It's like chameleos instead of chameleon.
Oh my gosh. That's a good one. Chameleon.
Yeah. Chameleon, I think it is.
Oh, that's even better. That's way better.
Yeah.
It sounds all fancy and stuff. Chameleon. It sounds French.
Chameleon.
Chameleon. Oh, oui.
Oui.
I will get my pet chameleon. Actually, my sisters were in France. They're both single. They have so much income to use just whenever they want. I believe the word is
disposable income.
Disposable. Thank you. I'm like discretionary income. That's not right. Disposable income. So yeah, this is like the 3rd time they've been to Europe, just hanging out for a while. And apparently, France has all of these protests and like violent demonstration going on right now.
Yeah,
4 people have died. Hundreds of people have been injured.
Of fuel taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, rising taxes on gas and diesel. Specific protests against French President Emmanuel Macron. Many of his economic reforms. And, people are going nuts. Increases fuel by about 30 cents per gallon in American terms. Gas already costs $7.06 US per gallon in France. Oh, my gosh.
How much is it in Utah's bill?
like $2,
like
maybe 3.
Okay, so it's already more than double than what
Yeah.
you would pay per gallon.
Correct.
That is
and they want
mental.
to raise it more. Well, and specifically here, President Macron says it is part of his efforts to minimize France's reliance on fossil fuels. So it's this whole climate change argument where, like, we need to do this thing in order to save the Earth. But it hurts the economy and hurts the people. And it's like, I get it, man. You believe in climate change. You believe we need to do this or humanity goes extinct. I totally get that. But, man, you're going to piss a lot of people off in the process.
I mean, here's the thing. Instead of, like... Because that's, like... It's trying to fight climate change by raising money. Where instead, if you then say, instead we're going to give out subsidies or something for electric cars, you're probably going to see a bigger impact that way while improving the economy, but it's going to cost you money. All right?
Yeah, like right. It's the polar opposite way of going about to achieve the same goal. I get that.
Yeah.
And that's actually something the U.S. does. We get pretty heavy tax breaks to companies that build electric cars and
Not for much longer.
and whatnot. No, definitely not. But currently,
Well, I saw a thing that's like Trump's going to cut subsidies on electric cars. Yeah.
huh? I mean, part of my thing about that is like electric cars are getting their power from somewhere, and it's mostly coal-powered power plants in the U.S., which still ejects a whole ton of CO2 into the atmosphere. So you're not really helping all that much. It just kind of feels like you are.
but-
I don't know. It's rough.
But you can get power from other places, is the point.
Yeah.
Right? If you
Can get it from solar. You can get it from geothermal, whatever. Yep.
Priuses like 6 years ago came out and they had solar panels on their roof, which will power, like not, they're not going to be storing enough power to run the car, but they'll run fans that keep it cool in the summer. And as solar and wind and other powers like get more prevalent and they become cheaper, why not encourage more electric cars? It's just, you might not be doing much just by switching straight to electric because you're still burning coal or whatever at the power plant, but it's better than doing nothing.
Sure. It's a baby step. It's an incremental step towards a larger goal.
Yeah,
I get it.
And if you can get 300 million people in the US to do a baby step, all of a sudden you've done a big step without even noticing.
Right.
It's like taking the training wheels off your bike or your dad not holding on to you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, good metaphor.
I remember that moment, Samacron. I was like 4 or 5 years old. I was in the little road behind my house, and my dad was pushing me on my bike, and I didn't have my training wheels on, and then he let go, and I was like, hey, I get this. And it was awesome. That's a good moment. So
I was 14 when I learned how to ride a bike.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems late. Is it late for Australian culture?
Yes. To be fair, when I was like
Okay.
4 or 5, I had a bike. It just had training wheels. And then one day we were at my auntie's place, and there was like, oh, there's a bike or a trampoline. Which do you want to use? I'm like, well, I've been on the trampoline for like the last 4 hours. I guess I'll ride the bike just down the hill and then walk it back up and then ride down the hill again. And then I was like, screw this, I'm just going to learn. So I did.
Wow. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
14. We'll take it.
Yeah, it was around 14. It's like 13, 14 somewhere. It was a while ago at this point.
And you fell in love.
Yeah, I ride my bike a lot. Well, I used to
Yeah.
before I had a license, and then I got the transition from pedal bikes to motorized bikes
Yeah.
didn't really happen.
That's what I meant.
Didn't happen though. Like I wasn't like, all right, old enough to get my license. Let's go do it. I got my license when I was like 21, so it's still like 5 years off to when I could have. Because I'm just not a gearhead in any sense. Like I have a bike as long as it works, it's great. But I'm not out there tinkering on it myself.
Not tinkering around, but you have dreams. I know. You have dreams about getting an awesome bike.
Oh yeah.
It's not just purely about transportation and
Yeah, having an awesome
just being practical.
having an awesome bike would be nice, but that's come after riding them for another 5 years.
Gotcha. So you weren't just like, motorcycles are the greatest things on planet Earth at the first.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Fun fact, tying it back into cars and petrol and stuff, I was riding my housemate's bike to work last night, and it ran out of petrol on the way to work. Because
How far away were you from petrol station?
70 from the petrol station. I mean, I could have turned it around and like just coasted down a hill and been like, hey, I'm right at a 7-Eleven with petrol.
Oh, nice.
But it had a reserve tank. I just need to flick that onto.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, so I just did that and got to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, ran out of fuel. Because he told me it'll do 200 kilometers to a tank. And it said...
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
And I'd done about 160. So I was like, this should be fine. I get on my bike and go to work. And I'm like, blip, 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 blip. I'm like, oh crap, pull over. What's going on?
And he was including the reserve tank as part of that calculation?
Yes, but also part of that calculation is he would ride it, and he's like 30 kilos lighter than I am, so it gets a little more out of it.
Wow. It made that much of a difference, huh?
Not really. I think,
Okay.
yeah, I think just not including, I didn't like, reserve tanks. Sweet. Then I probably could have gotten the last like 30 Ks out of it. But
Sure.
that little bit does add up over time. Yeah.
Physics.
Fascinating stuff.
Physics. The best. The best of all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the fact that my little Corolla gets about 36 miles to the gallon consistently. So
6 miles to gallon. I need to convert both miles and
Oh,
gallon.
right. Well, let me help you out. It's about 340 miles per tank, and the tank is like
Hold on.
12 gallons.
36 miles is 57.9, so we'll say 58 kilometers. And US gallon to liters is 3.7.
Because of course it is.
Yeah.
Go
So
America.
that means for every 3.7 liters, you do 58 kilometers, which isn't bad.
No, it's really not.
No.
I mean, it's about as good as you can get for a random consumer car that's not an electric vehicle. Mm-hmm. It seems like we kind of topped out on fuel efficiency or right about there. And this was 20 years ago. And so
Right.
haven't really improved all that much since then. And it's actually been a discussion that I've had with my friends a lot is like, how come, gas mileage hasn't improved in efficiency in the last 20 years? Because we got this 20, 25 years ago, and today the best you can get non-electrical is about the same.
Right.
And I've heard arguments that weights are different in cars. Cars are heavier now because of safety features they didn't have 20 years ago. And if you get hit in a car now, it won't crumple like a tin can like it would have back in 1994.
Right. At the end of the day, you want those safety features, regardless of how much
Yes.
heavier they will make your car.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just not sure that accounts for all of it.
Okay.
And then there are some arguments that maybe there are some conspiracies here involving the gasoline companies. And if all of a sudden every car gets 100 miles to the gallon, we're buying less gas and it puts people out of business. And that's one of my favorite conspiracy theories. Is this whole concept that we suppress certain innovations because if we allow it to happen, it will cause unemployment rates to spike. Mm-hmm. But we've done it enough that I don't think there's really any kind of a conspiracy behind that. We've done it all the time. There is all the time inventions happening that cause jobs to be lost, and then we just recover. Mm-hmm. And new jobs are created, and
But
I don't know. It's a pattern we've been following for a while.
the difference is companies today make billions of dollars. The companies back then made hundreds of thousands.
Yes.
Right? So there's significantly more to lose.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So percentage-wise, it might be the same, but when it's $300 million in lost profits as opposed to $300 in lost profits,
Yeah.
it just feels different.
Yeah. Because people are like hardwired to loss aversion, right? They hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Dirk from Veristablium. Sorry, I just made
From what?
I just made a joke from another podcast where they intentionally mispronounced Veritasium, the YouTube channel. They call him not Derek from Veritasium, but Dirk from Veristablium or something.
What the heck is Veritasium?
It's a sciencey YouTube channel. Veritas being Latin for truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Veritasium?
yeah, Veritasium.
Veritasium.
He did a video on like going up to people and betting them on the street, meaning like if you can guess like a heads or tails, I think it was, you get $10, but if you lose $5, and people wouldn't take the bet because they're so adverse to losing the $5 that they won't even risk making 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people won't invest in the stock market just on the chance that they could lose money, even though historically it's a really good idea. Yeah. So what I was confused by is in Harry Potter, there's a thing called Veritas Serum, which is truth serum.
Uh-huh.
And it looks very similar to Veritasium, but it is not the same thing.
Okay. Well, there's the problem. You read Harry Potter.
Hey, you back off. Harry Potter is great stuff. We've had this discussion. You don't have a soul. We understand.
Sure.
So anyway, backing up a little bit. Yes, my sisters were in Paris, and somehow the pictures they sent back and the videos they sent back, none of it involves like fire or cars burning out in the middle of the street or people protesting and throwing smoke bombs or riot police. I don't know how they did it. It's like they're in an alternate version of Paris right now. In other news, can I rant about YouTube for a second?
Sure.
So I like YouTube. YouTube has allowed me to develop this career as a StarCraft caster. There's no barrier to entry at all. I could just get started with the very nothing other than recording software and a microphone and call it good. And YouTube's like, sure thing, we'll post your stuff. Come on in. And it's really been great. It's been good for me. It's been good for them. It's been a pretty good relationship. So I have this hour and 47-minute long Sunday series Best of 5 between Cyril and Tasia from Home Story Cup that I cast. It might very well be the best of 5 I have ever cast in the StarCraft world in my entire life. And I've cast a lot of StarCraft. It is so good.
Okay.
So I go and I cast them all. I make them their each little individual video files for each game. I go into Hit Film Express 3. I tack them all together. I add an intro and an outro. I process this. It takes 3 hours because it's so big and so long. Then I upload it to YouTube, and that takes 4 hours. It literally takes that long. I'm checking it throughout the day. It gets there, and I'm like, hooray, it's uploaded, and it's finished processing. And I look, and it says, this video is exactly 4 minutes long. And I go, what? What? I say, this is not correct. So I click on it, and I'm like, maybe it's just labeled wrong. And I click on it. It is literally the first 4 minutes of my entire thing. I stop talking mid-sentence, and it's like, done. Thank you for watching my video.
Wow.
So this has never happened before. I've never, ever had anything similar to this problem working with YouTube.
Does it always take you 4 hours to upload the Sunday series? Like, is that an average time, or would you say that was longer than anticipated?
It's usually a Sunday series is anywhere from an hour to an hour and maybe 10 or 15 minutes on average.
Okay. So 4 hours is exceptionally long.
To upload?
Yeah. Okay. What file size does HitFilm export it as?
The
file type.
Exported... Oh, MP4.
MP4, okay.
Which is what I use for everything.
Okay.
And it's 11.2 gig when it gets spit out.
Okay.
Okay, so there's this new feature where you can actually chat with live support from YouTube 24 hours a day if you have at least 25,000 subscribers and if you had a certain amount of watch time over the last year. And I fit both of those criteria.
Only just though, with a cool 30,000 subs.
I just barely meet that one. So I chat with this dude, and I'm like, hey, here's what happened. And he's like, let me look into this. And he's like, this is what you sent us. And I'm like, no. I did not send you a 4-minute video file. That would have taken a minute and a half to upload. No, definitely not. I would have noticed, no. So I'm like, can you check your logs and see maybe you can check when I started sending the file and when it completed the send? That seems like something you should be able to do. And he goes, nope. We don't have that feature. And I'm like, what? How about you're what? You're a multi-million-dollar show here, and you can't tell me how long it took to upload this file. You have no logs, and I just think he doesn't have access to them. Like, the longer I talked to this dude, he had no idea what to do with this.
Right.
So, bottom line, he was useless, and he's like, well, can you send me your source file, and I can take a look at it? And I'm like, but it's 11 gig. Where Dropbox won't let me do that. I guess I could use Google Drive. So I go ahead and I'm like, fine. So I try to upload it using Google Drive, and it goes through 3.5 hours of uploading it, and it gets to 35 minutes left and stops.
Aww.
It's just sitting there at 35 minutes left. I keep checking back. An hour later, 35 minutes left. 2 hours later, 35 minutes left. 4 hours later, 35 minutes left. And I'm like, oh, this is not going well. So I give up on that. I'm like, screw this stupid ever murder someone.
Oh.
So I'm like, you know what? When in doubt, I should have done this in the first place. Just upload it again.
Mm-hmm.
Just upload it again. That's what I do when there's problems. I haven't had this problem before, but other problems, you just try again. Turn it off and on again, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I do. Exact same problem.
Oh.
I'm like, maybe there's... So I check the source. I load it up. Windows plays it. No problem. All the way from the start to the finish. There's no problems with it. I can't see any glitches or like it's not missing anything. I don't know. I can't find any problems with this. I don't know why Google is choking on it so hard. So I decide today to go in, recreate the entire video from scratch in HitFilm, take all the pieces in, stitch them together, adjust the lengths on each individual clip a little bit so it's not the exact same file, right?
Right.
Run the processing in HitFilm again for 3 hours, upload it again for 4 hours. This time it's 5 minutes and 47 seconds.
Oh my god.
So I'm like, how? Why? So my next step, where I am now,
Is to go back to
is I'm wondering, yes, to go back to Windows Movie Maker. Even though Windows Movie Maker doesn't have the clarity that I've come to appreciate from HitFilm in the finished product, like Windows Movie Maker really puts a weird fuzziness to my videos that's not super noticeable, but if you look at it closely, it's just not as good.
Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna load up 2 videos. Beyond versus Ketrock. Is that HitFilm?
HitFilm.
Right. Great video. I watched it today while I was waiting.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. I love Cat Rock.
Yeah, Ketrock's great. And let's go back. So let's say 3 weeks ago, if I went with Herfer versus Railgun, would that be?
Yeah, no, I'm just laughing because it's a funny name. Like that's how I pronounce it too.
Yeah.
Let me check real quick. I don't even know. Let's go. You need to go further back than that just to be sure.
Further back. All right, let's go back.
Let's go back to like
Clem versus DNS 2 months ago.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
That's one.
All right,
that's definitely Windows Movie Maker.
All right. I think the one with Ketrock definitely looks a little bit better.
Right.
But not by much after YouTube compression, right? I think the difference there is minimal. Like if you when you switched and you didn't like immediately tell people, I don't think anyone would have noticed.
No, nobody said anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and
yeah,
it's always gonna when it comes to switching how you encode your videos and stuff like that. There's always gonna be a point where it's like, I can do a little bit with different technology, like different programs that are free, or you can do, a bit more by switching to a paid version of the product, like whatever Adobe's using or whatever, right?
Yep. There's like some Sony product people swear by, but it costs like $400.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Right. I mean, I can tell the difference, but I stare at my video files a lot, probably too much.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the plan.
I mean, the other alternative is you can try to make them look better in other ways. Like if you had a higher than 1080p monitor, and so you were able to run it at 1440p and then upload videos like that, that would make them look better because YouTube naturally gives videos with higher resolutions more bitrate.
Do they now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hold on.
But then, of course, you need to make sure your graphics card can play it, and that the software you're using can handle a bigger video file size.
Correct. There's a lot of steps involved here that I'm not super worried about.
Yeah. If HitFilm is taking like 3 hours to like finish stitching together a Sunday series at 1080, imagine what they're doing at like 1440.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, bottom line at this point, I have the Windows Movie Maker file for this series. I'm going to go ahead and upload that. If that somehow causes YouTube to choke, I'm going to drive over there and start slapping people.
Okay.
I don't understand how this could be happening. I don't know what could be going on if two separate media stitching together programs, whatever you want to call them, cause the same problem. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's super weird. I mean, so you don't have a version of this file in like Google Drive or anything? I was going to say send it to me, see if I can upload it and see if that happens. Again.
Right. No, I don't, because I can't get it anywhere.
Yeah, I also realized that would shut down my entire internet for a week. So.
Yes, it would. I mean, you try to find somewhere where I can upload an 11 gig file and host it without paying for it at this point, right?
You could always do it on my website.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then that would screw you up real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So we're just going to see. We'll see. If that works, I'll post it on Wednesday and everybody will be happy and joyous. Mm-hmm. But, like, honestly, to the point, it is such a good series, I am strongly considering putting 2 epic tags on it. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but it's going to be double epic.
2 epic tags? Ooh, that's a high bar to set for people going in. You don't want to put those expectations too high.
It's Tasia and Cyril, man. Like,
it's true. Sure.
There are so many things. So just thinking back, and I mean, this is going to post after the series posts. Like, I feel like I'm jinxing it by saying that, but yeah, there is a point where I actually, after one of the games, I get up and leave the office and just like take a break. I never do that. Every other series I've ever cast, I sit there the whole time. I move on to the next game. I get it done. I get it out of the way. This one, I literally had to be like, take the headphones off, stand up, go get a drink, wander around for a bit, sit on the couch and stare at the wall.
I feel like even you
then go back.
I feel like even you're opening your fridge to get a drink and be like, if there was ever a time that I needed alcohol.
This would be it.
This would be it. Oh, God, I really want... I know what I want to get you for Christmas. It's a little in case of emergency, and it's just got like a shot full of just a shot glass filled with liquor. And instead of in case of emergency, it's in case of Cyril v. Tasia.
So great. So... I mean, it's just this weird confluence of events. It is the video I am most excited to share with people in such a long time, and yet
you just can't
get it up there.
That's unfortunate.
And the other thing is, I do have this Comcast rate limit. It's a data cap every month, which every month, the second to last day of the month, they're like, hey, you're close. And I'm like, I know. I'll be fine. And then I'm fine. Mm-hmm. But I'm just worried that by uploading this 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 times, I'm going to hit the cap this month, especially considering my kids will be out of school for a couple of weeks, and they're going to be watching a lot of Netflix and YouTube, which does take quite a bit. Mm-hmm. I might have to drop the quality on Netflix by another level. It's already at 480 or 720. And I wonder if I could drop it to 480.
Do not give your kids standard definition childhoods. Don't do that to them. It's not worth it.
Well, it's just for a couple weeks. They can appreciate what they have. I was raised in worse than standard definition childhood.
That's true.
We had the antenna on top of the TV, and it was staticky, and you had to be like, well, maybe if I move this here 4 degrees to the right, it'll clear up. Oh, kids these days. That's another thing. They have every entertainment they ever want available to them on demand all the time, every day. And it's all in perfect quality. Uh-huh. It's disgusting.
And yet, it's disgusting? Perfect quality is disgusting? I thought you were going to complain that, 2 days into the, summer vacations or whatever, they're always like, Dad, I'm bored.
Oh, there's definitely that.
Yeah.
If I don't let them have access to YouTube, they're bored out of their skulls.
Yeah.
And I've got to the point where I used to be like, well, you can do this or do this. You have some Legos. You have a couple books here. You can build a fort in the basement. You can do all these things. And I'm like, meh. So now I'm just like, nope, figure it out. I'm just like, get out of the room. Go figure it out. And they do.
That's
they
great.
do for the most part.
That's good.
Yeah. It's a good life skill is to figure out what to do when you're bored and you don't have something to entertain you.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. So.
So there's a story that I want to talk about, or do you still have more to rant about this? Just before we move on.
Well, just a small tangent. The other problem I was wrangling with this week is that sometimes my hit film videos would come out with audio desynchronization.
Yep.
I'd be like, what? And so I did some Googling, and someone actually figured out that HitFilm does this thing where it auto-detects the frame rate on the video clips you give it. And sometimes it's just wrong. Sometimes it'll take my 60 FPS video clip and say, hey, this is 59, right? Right. 59 it is. And then you'll try to run it against, and it doesn't work.
Right.
So, but the good news is that it's an easy fix. You just go in, you edit the properties of the video clip and say, hey, stupid, this is 60 and everything's cool. So I figured that out at least. That was nice.
If it can detect the frame rate, and it's like, because 60 frames per second is technically 59.99, right? Why would it not just round up to the nearest standard, which is 60?
Well, and that's the thing. It's not consistent. It's not like every one of these is 59. Sometimes it's like, hey, this 60 is 60. Cool. And there's not a problem.
Oh, that's awful.
It's really bad. I don't understand.
Get what you pay for, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true.
Okay. So this story
All
I
right,
want to talk
that's
about.
it. Continue.
Maybe you heard about it, but a woman, her child was being laughed at by Southwest Airlines.
I'm familiar.
You familiar with this? So you're aware of this child's name? Because I know one of the things that you... What do you think about this child's name? I'm curious for your thoughts.
Again, I don't align myself with the political policies of North Korea that often. But I really think there should be a federal bureau that has to approve every baby name that a child is given in the entire country. We can't be trusted with this.
And you don't think Absidy is a lovely name?
I don't. It's bad. Anytime you look at a child's name and you don't know how to pronounce it, it's a bad name.
Right. Because the name Absidy isn't bad until you spell it like this person did. Right? Like, if it had been given a regular kind of spelling, right? Like, I say regular, like...
The heck? How do you regularly spell Absidy?
Well...
See?
There you go. Absidy. It's still awful.
That looks like Absiday to me.
Maybe. But it's... Okay, for those of you who are unaware, how is this child's name spelled, Falcon?
ABCDE.
So the first 5 letters of the alphabet.
And see... Okay, a couple aspects here. Number one is part of me feels like the mom did this with the hope of one day being able to get irate at somebody who couldn't pronounce their kid's name and become some kind of a meme sensation and try to profit off of that. Okay. I don't think it worked, but it was an attempt, possibly. The other thing is, if you're just setting up your kid for a lifetime of people making fun of their name, childhood is hard enough as it is.
Right.
How much do you hate your kid that they have to deal with a stupid name on top of the fact that, I don't know, they can't spell very well? Like, you know what I mean? There's so many other things that kids will go after your kid for. Don't give the bullies ammunition.
So, babynames.com lists the US rank of Absidy in the year 2015 as there being 7,210 people with that name.
No, that's wrong. Wrong? It's got to be wrong.
No?
There's no way there's that many. I can believe there's one. I can believe there's 2, maybe.
Hold on. This does say rank.
Oh.
But Wikipedia does list there saying it was revealed that 328 girls were named Absidy in the United States between 1990 and 2014.
Okay, I can accept that. I don't like it, but it makes sense.
It's terrible. Why would you do that? 323 regular people got to grow up with the name A, B, C, D, E. And teachers have to try and figure out how to pronounce that.
Yeah. Yes, that's the other thing. Teachers, I think teachers go into each school year at this point in American history and just be like, There's gonna be 10 names here I have no idea how to pronounce. Let's just roll with it.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen. And it really stems from the fact that parents want their kids to be unique. They want their kid to be a special snowflake and different and special in some way. They don't want them to be the same as everybody else. And naming your kid Susan doesn't help them be unique. And not everybody can be unique. That's the whole point of the word unique, is that not everybody is that. I don't know. There's a certain level of everybody being normal is fine. If your kid grows up to be a normal, regular human being, that's okay, parents. It is.
Yeah. I'm really worried because my sister's about due, and she hasn't told us what name she's considering.
That is worrying.
So there might be a little absidy in the family.
Oh my gosh, I hope it's absidy.
I hope not.
Oh my gosh, I do. I really hope it's absidy. We'll laugh and laugh and laugh, and they'll be like, "Do you listen to the podcast, Somicron's sister?"
She does. She does.
Oh. Hey, if you do name your kid Absidy, I totally respect your life choice.
You can't lie to her now.
That was not a lie. That was entirely sincere. She can tell.
Okay.
Did we talk about the Fallout 76 thing where the canvas bag thing?
We did not
didn't?
talk.
Okay, good.
I don't think we talked about that. So let's do it. A little bit of gaming news.
People are so mad about Fallout 76, you guys. Like, the maddest I've seen gamers in a long time, at least 3 weeks.
Yep.
So, the biggest one here... Okay, so the resulting product is buggy. It doesn't look that good sometimes. It's boring in a lot of ways. I mean, I've read a lot about this. I watch a bunch of YouTube reviews just because I like reading about bad games and how upset people get about it. Just kind of one of my things. But the biggest thing to me is that the $200 collector's edition for Fallout 76, because you need a $200 collector's edition for a PvP server you're releasing with no campaign and no anything that grumble. Part of it was a nice canvas bag, like a really well-made canvas bag that said that it say Fallout 76 on it.
It said Vault-Tec. It said Vault-Tec on it.
Vault-Tec, excellent, even better. So Vault-Tec also came with kind of a neat helmet, like a Fallout style helmet.
Yeah,
kinda cool.
It's kind of cool, but I've bought enough collector's editions to know that thing would be plastic and garbage.
Correct.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I saw a YouTuber like opening one because he didn't know he was being sent one, which is the better part, which is why I watched it. Because he's been very critical of Fallout 76, and then he got one in the mail.
Nice.
And that thing looks like garbage. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like cheap plastic tat.
I mean, but again, who expected anything different, right? It's like the Pip-Boy that you got with the collector's edition of Fallout 4.
That's how I know I have one of those.
Yeah, like nobody expected that to be like metal, an incredibly well-crafted piece of technology.
Like an actual Pip-Boy.
Well, yes, nobody expected an actual Pip-Boy. I don't think. Maybe somebody did, but they were dumb.
You can put your phone in it and it works like a Pip-Boy.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And the Fallout 4 app will make your phone emulate a Pip-Boy as well. So.
Yes, I have seen that. That's actually pretty neat.
And if you're playing it on console, it'll connect to that, and then you can like use your Pip-Boy on your arm instead of the one in game. Yeah.
Ooh. All right. I'm liking that more and more. But anyway, the canvas bag, which, I don't know, nobody was like, holy smokes, a canvas bag. Like, that wasn't, I don't think, the focus of why people wanted this.
No, it was definitely the helmet.
But, yes. But it ships, and it's plastic? It's
nylon?
What's the nylon?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like cheap gym bag
material.
Nylon?
Yeah, nylon.
Yeah, it's thin and it's gross, and you can see a hole poking in that in about 5 minutes. Anyway, and then the best part is did they tweet at them? They tweeted or they contacted support or something like that.
Claiming basically that
it was an email.
It was an email. Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
They're basically like, hey, this isn't what was advertised. I got a nylon bag. What's going on?
Yep.
Not the canvas one. And Bethesda came back with possibly one of the douchiest things they possibly could have. Like, they really failed the
We're-
charisma check on that one.
Do you have it? I can read it. I have it right here.
You can read it. It's all you.
We are sorry that you aren't happy with the bag. All right. I mean, so far, so good. The
Well,
bag shown
no.
in the media...
No, they're not so far so good. That's not good. That's not good. You don't follow. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you upset? Did you not like the $2 plastic piece of shit we gave you? I'm sorry to hear that. No, that's
Well,
not good.
but it could have, this easily could have led into, we're sorry, there was some kind of weird mistake, we're going to send you a replacement one and $100, right?
Right, if
Could
it
have
been
done
a
that.
they could have done that.
It could have led into that from that first sentence. But instead it goes, the bag shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it. Bethesda Gear Store Support North America. Whoa!
Whoa. Oh, Bethesda.
And I
Time.
mean, this is
Digging that
some
hole.
low-level employee answering emails. This isn't Todd answering
Yeah.
emails. I get that.
No, this isn't some guy named Todd. No.
No, some weirdo named Todd. I get that, but oh my gosh. And I mean, that's probably true. They were probably like, and then we'll have this nice bag, and nobody thought about it. And then one of the number crunchers was like, holy crap, that is way too much. I need our profit margin to be way better than it would be with this canvas bag. And they dumped it and didn't tell anybody, downgraded it, and hoped nobody would notice. And then everybody noticed to the end.
I mean, yeah, that's essentially what it is. It all came down to the profit margin, right? Because guarantee you, the nylon bags and the canvas bags probably made at the same place in China. And the difference when making them in bulk, like 100,000 collector's editions, maybe 200,000, who knows how many, right? Only Bethesda would know, and they're certainly not going to tell.
They will not.
No.
Not now.
No way. Right? The difference would have been like, $2 per bag versus $5 per bag.
Yes. And then
Yeah.
you ship, I don't know, a few thousand of those, and your profit's different.
Yep.
Yeah. So, meh. So basically, everyone is not happy with Fallout 76. People are upset about the lack of human NPCs in the world, which they told us. We had an argument about this, didn't we? I thought there wouldn't be, and you were like, no, they totally are going to have human NPCs in the world, and I don't think we ever...
I never
Does that
said
know what happened?
That's definitely not what happened.
Okay.
No.
So we were agreed. We'd both heard the same thing.
But yeah, we both heard that there was no NPCs, and we're both like, well, that's garbage.
Yeah, it is. It's real bad.
Yeah.
And instead, they have these little audio tapes you can pick up, which is basically Bioshock, right?
Yeah. But Bioshock, you would at least see other people,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
And then they'll be like, oh, okay, there's someone, they're going to talk to me through a radio. All right. Or from
Exactly.
the other side of this door. There was the illusion of people. I mean, I guess in practice it makes no difference if it's an open world game and you can't just walk up to someone doing their thing, you know?
Yeah, but it's just, it's immersion. It's
Yeah.
helping the world
Yeah.
feel populated and alive in some way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. People have a lot of complaints about it. I've seen some really, really great footage of these, irradiated zombie people coming to attack you, and it looks like a cardboard cutout of just a static figure from the carnival that you
They're in
shoot
their
with a BB
T-pose.
gun.
They're in T-poses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're just moving towards you.
They glide along the ground because they don't have a run
Right.
animation that's working. Yeah.
There's no animation that's working other than move it from place to place statically.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like that. To be fair, I haven't played much Fallout, and I do understand that Fallout games are well known for their bugs, especially on launch.
Oh,
but
all Bethesda
amazing.
products are known for bugs and launch.
Yeah.
And to be fair, T-poses, like that's what it's called, a T-pose, is a stand. It's I wouldn't go so far as to knowing what an industry standard is in games development, but that is something that you can see in a lot of games that have a lot of bugs. Is models loading in a T-pose, and then they might snap. They didn't pick the T-pose because they're Bethesda, right? It's just
No. It's a placeholder you use when you're testing.
Yeah.
Right. You want to test certain things before you have it all nice and polished, so you just go with this.
Yeah, or it's a way to have the model spread out, and so you can look at it while you're working with it. And if you have all the models in the same uniform shape, that saves time when going over because you just follow like a pattern or a checklist. And then that's how they load into the game because that's how the models are made.
Yep. Bingo.
And then they just kind of
So,
snap into life.
Or not, as the case may be.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, I don't know. I wasn't going to buy it anyway, even if it was working perfectly and everything else, but now, especially, I'm not going to buy it. I never bought Fallout 4 for similar concerns.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not going to pick this up because it just looks boring as well. On top of everything else, it just looks like a soulless shooter.
Yeah. There's just no... I understand this concept of you make your own story, but that doesn't work. And I'm not sure why that's broken. I'm not sure why that's a thing, but it doesn't work. Anytime I've ever seen it tried, it's just not... It doesn't catch on as much as something that has a narrative structure does, like The Witcher 3 or Red Dead Redemption. People love those games, even though they're both open world, and you can make your own story, but they have a narrative thread to it.
There are lots of games that are very much choose your own story, right? Or make your own story. Even in a lot of ways, StarCraft is. Your own story of what happens in every single game is what they're trying to go for, right? Like Minecraft. Typically no story.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No NPCs. Massively loved.
Minecraft is the one example. That's the one thing that I've seen work on a huge scale where there's literally no storytelling, but people love it anyway because they make their own stories.
There's no storytelling in PUBG. Still getting 900,000 concurrent players daily.
It's true, but even the last man standing wins is more of a narrative thread than Fallout 76 has.
No, well, 76 has story. You've just got to find the computer terminals and stuff.
I know, but it's not like you're working to a specific goal at all. You just come up to something. It's like, hey, here's something that happened, or that's it. You're not like working to achieve anything necessarily.
Well, I mean, what you're working towards is the create your own story part. All right, but there's if you make your goal to find story, you can do that. Right? There are story bits where you can find narrative logs and...
True.
Yeah.
True. Anyway, I will not be getting it, and you won't either. So no Fallout 76 pod.
Yeah. Nope. Not happening.
Look what I just sent you in Discord.
Yeah, the influences bag that they sent out, which looks quite lovely and reasonably high quality.
It makes me laugh so much.
Yeah.
We can't afford to send everybody a canvas bag, but our influencers, the people that drive sales directly, not the loyal fans, but the people that drive sales, that's who deserves the canvas bag. It really just says everything about how they see their customer base in 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same old story in every company, right? The salespeople are more directly responsible for money coming into the company as far as management can often see. And so they get the bonuses, they get the accolades, they get the, wow, look who sold all this stuff. And the people that make the product and the people that buy the product and the people, it's a whole big complicated system. And the only people that a lot of management cares about are the salespeople.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah. I've
firsthand seen situations where the best salesmen in the world cannot sell garbage. You can send them out there, but they can't make it happen.
Yeah.
Or if they do make it happen, eventually the product gets returned because it is garbage, and maybe the salesman made it sound good, got it in there, but in the end, it wasn't enough.
I think that's that's the Fallout 76 case where the marketing team, did one of the best jobs a marketing team could in the AAA games industry, because all the marketing is just on point, matching the cinematic, right from E3 with the Country Roads Take Me Home song.
Yep.
So perfectly matched. They made that game look great, but at the end of the day, they were still selling garbage. People bought it because of the marketing, though.
They did. If the marketing was good, I think there are enough people that just love the Fallout franchise at this point that they would have sold enough of it, even if the marketing was just kind of mediocre. There's a certain point at which people just love the franchise. I would buy StarCraft 3 sight unseen, without any marketing material at all. And even if it turned out to be garbage, I'd be like, oh, crap. I trusted the name, you know?
Right.
And I think Fallout just falls in that category. That's all I'm saying. I don't think they needed incredible marketing to sell it, although I'm sure it helped. I'm sure it increased the numbers by a measurable statistic.
Yeah.
So in other news, today I was getting out of the car after bringing my kids home from school and dropped my phone off of my lap, and it hit the concrete floor in the garage. And I've done similar things probably 15 times with this phone, and it's really been pretty good about it. Not this time. Spiderweb cracks all the way from the bottom left up across the top.
Ooh, that's unfortunate.
It's not great. I mean, the good news is the touchscreen still works. There's no dead spots, which I've seen happen in similar situations, and it's just like crap. Like I can't access this app anymore.
Did you have a case?
No. Nope. Never do.
Then there's your problem. A case.
I guess.
You need a case, man. It'll save you.
Yeah. No, I worked at Apple long enough to know that cases will not save you. Not every time. It helps.
Do you have an
absolutely
Apple?
Does.
Do you have an Apple? Like,
No.
do you have an iPhone?
No.
Okay, so like apples are made of glass. They're entirely designed to shatter.
True.
Right. That is why a case does not help you, so they can sell you another iPhone.
Right.
Get when you have a proper phone, or a grown-up's phone, as I would call it. Get a case on it. It'll make it last twice as long.
Yeah. I've got the OnePlus 2, which has the Gorilla Glass thing going. And like I said, I have dropped this thing face down on parking lots and concrete floors and tile floors more times than I ever should have, and it's been totally great. But not this time. This time, rolled the dice and came up snake eyes. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's usable. I'm kind of worried about getting slivers of glass in my fingers. That's a bit of a concern.
Reasonable concern.
But I'm also maybe looking at a replacement, because there are some of the newer OnePlus series phones that can run with Google's Project Fi cellular service, which is awesome and cheap. And I'm thinking about getting a phone that's compatible with that, because my current phone is not.
Okay. So have a look into it.
So I'm looking into it, so I might have something to talk about next week with that. But in the meantime, I'm walking around with a busted phone like some kind of chump.
Like a chump.
Like an absolute chump.
You chump. Fair enough.
Indeed. So yeah, I think that's probably it for today, unless we want to tease a potential future guest.
So we'll see what happens.
We will.
Yeah. All right. Do you need sports ball minute?
Yeah, we can do that.
So something did happen in sports, and I'm just going to read off the score.
Something always happens in sports.
Well, yeah, they play the sport, but fine. 3, 2, 1, go.
The Utah Utes, 17th ranked Utah Utes, finally made it to their first Pac-12 championship game after joining the Pac-12 several years ago. Everybody was very excited about it. They went up against the Washington Huskies, who are ranked 9th, 10 wins, 3 losses. Utah Utes, 9 wins, 4 losses. Very, very close game. But the Utah Utes barely managed to score 3 points and lost 3-10. The only touchdown of the entire game came from a pick six from a Washington Husky. It was a very, very boring game. And if you've seen Utah's kicker, you know he can hit field goals from 60 to 70 yards, which means the Utah offense was very, very, very bad in this game, which brings me a lot of joy because the Utes beat us a couple weeks ago, and I could not stomach a Utah victory in the Pac-12 championship game, going to the Rose Bowl and all the accolades that would come with it. So thank you so much for being inept and losing that game. I appreciate it.
All right.
It was nice. Sports rivalries, man. It's good. See, that's another thing. I'm always comparing sports ball to esports. Like, is there a player that currently that I just like want to watch lose?
In esports?
Yeah, I don't think there is. I don't think there's anybody in StarCraft in particular where I'm like, man, I hope this guy just gets absolutely stomped. I mean, part of me doesn't really like Haz's play style because he's inspired so much of this garbage on ladder that is hard for me to deal with.
Right.
But, like, it's not his fault. Like, he's just being creative, and that's good for the game, and I like watching him.
Fair enough.
But I mean, like, Idra might be the last guy just because he was so consistently bad-mannered and just like a jerk about everything.
Avila?
Avilo, he's not good enough.
He's not good enough for the hate.
He's not. He really isn't. I mean, we talked extensively about how in Nation Wars he didn't win a single map for the U.S. So thank you, Avilo fans, for having him represent our country. Way to go, guys.
And are you saying when he goes to the next Nation Wars event, you're not going to be like, I hope to see this guy lose? Like, you're not going to be like that?
Nah.
No? Okay.
I think if it's going to be like if it happens again, we'll recap it and I'll be like, oh, look at that. You didn't win a map again. What a waste of space. But I'm not going to watch them and be like, man, I hope he loses. I'll get so much joy from watching him lose. I think that's a different level.
Okay. But you do feel that way about sports ball teams. You're like, oh man, I hope to see them lose. Okay.
Hope to see them lose.
Okay.
Multiple teams.
Good to know where your heart lies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
A lot of sports hate.
Yeah. I just got an ad for a Game of Thrones like branded Johnny Walker Scotch whiskey. It's called Johnny White Walker.
Yes. I support this wholeheartedly. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Game of Thrones is coming back in January. No, wait. April?
April, I think. Dude, I was looking at the schedule on Funimation, right? And it's doing new My Hero Academia episodes today.
What? Today?
Today.
Funimation. To the website.
To be fair, it says that they're not, strictly speaking, new. They're new English dubs.
Who? What? No.
Of episodes 28 to 28, 30, and 38.
I don't know what the episode numbers are. What season is that?
That's season 2.
Screw you, Funimation, getting my hopes up like that.
Yeah.
It's good. I love My Hero Academia. I also am really enjoying Attack on Titan. I've been slowly getting my way through season 3. It's low on my priority list of stuff to watch. Mm-hmm. Even though it's really good, I don't know.
Yeah, I highly recommend Goblin Slayer for your next. You might enjoy that.
Okay. Do I have to watch the Ron Weasley movie or the Goblin Slayer first?
The what?
There's the Ron Weasley movie you said I
TV show. That's a TV show.
Oh, it's a TV show. I found it on Netflix. I didn't see what it was.
Yeah. You didn't think it was weird? It's those 2 seasons of a movie?
I didn't even get that far with it. I just saw that it was available and moved on.
You should watch whichever
Added
one
it to my queue.
Looks more enjoyable.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're done.
Cool. We're done. Thanks for watching, everyone. Check out the merch. Check out the Patreon. And until next time, as always, thanks for listening and spending time with us. And you take care of yourself.